And then there's the matter of spying in this country. Once again, the NSA and the CIA have the right to spy in the United States. These agencies were set up as foreign intelligence agencies to gather foreign intelligence. 30 years ago, as a response to the warrantless wiretaps of the Nixon administration and all the administrations beforehand, Congress set up what's called the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. This is a secret court of federal judges that issue warrants, legal warrants, for electronic surveillance. As of 2006, this court had received more than 18,000 applications for warrants, and it had denied 5. So it's pretty much a slam dunk to get a warrant from them. But that was not enough for the Bush administration. It ordered the NSA to start spying on suspects without warrants, and it claimed, and it continues to claim, that it has the right to ignore the law and to wiretap and bug without limits. This is what Jeffrey Goldsmith, who was the head of the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel, said about what the President and the Vice President had done in this regard. And I quote, "The administration dealt with the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act the way they dealt with other laws they didn't like. They blew through them in secret, based on flimsy legal opinions that they guarded closely so that no one could question the legal basis for the operation." That is John Ashcroft's head of the Office of Legal Counsel talking. In the realm of national security, this president acts and continues to act as if he were above the law. That if it's secret, it's legal. And if the president does it, that means it is not illegal. This Richard Nixon believed, but Gerald Ford did not. That is the shadow line we crossed over the last 60 years. 30 years ago, under President Ford, there was a gradual evolution, the beginning of a gradual evolution toward congressional oversight of intelligence and the application of laws in the realm of national security. We are now back where we began. In the case of the Geneva Conventions and the CIA and the issue of torture, the president has acted as lawmaker in suspending the Geneva Conventions. He's acted as chief executive in carrying out a policy that allows the abuse of detainees, and he has acted as judge by keeping the procedures secret and asserting that the courts have no jurisdiction to hear appeals. In the matter of denying habeas corpus to detainees captured by the CIA or the FBI or the military, the president has acted as lawmaker in suspending the writ, as executive in imprisoning detainees, and as judge in asserting that no appeal can be heard outside the executive branch. And in ordering and approving warrantless wiretapping, the president has been the lawmaker who ignored the old laws and imposed his own rules above them, as executive by ordering the NSA and the Justice Department to carry out the secret surveillance, and as judge by saying he had an inherent right to do this in secret without obtaining lawful warrants from the court. No matter who the next president is, I believe that that president will abandon the use of torture as an instrument of American foreign policy. John McCain knows all about torture. And Barack Obama is a former professor of constitutional law. Between the two of them, I believe that they will stop this. That decision will remove a stain from the honor of the United States. But the next president has to do a lot more than that. I believe that the next president, no matter who it is, must restore American principles to this war. The world cannot continue to doubt the moral basis for our war on terrorism. We have to return to American principles, and that means not only renouncing torture, but returning habeas corpus to its rightful place in American law, shutting down secret prisons, limiting the state secrets privilege that presidents from FDR to Nixon asserted, by which presidents block American courts from administering justice. It means an end to the arrogation of presidential powers and a return of constitutional checks and balances in the realm of American law. I'm going to quote Colin Powell. I know Powell has become a political player again of late, but I believe he was a very good Secretary of State, a very good chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and yes, a political general, but a good one. One of the best since Eisenhower. This is Colin Powell. What is the greatest threat facing us now? He asked. People will say it's terrorism, but are there any terrorists in the world who can change the American way of life or our political system? No. Can they knock down a building? Yes. Can they kill people? Yes. But can they change us? No. Only we can change ourselves. The only thing that can really destroy us is us. And we shouldn't do it to ourselves. And we shouldn't use fear for political purposes, scaring people to death so that they will vote for you, or scaring people to death so that we create a terror industrial complex. Here he was citing President Eisenhower, who warned us against the disastrous rise of misplaced power in the military-industrial complex. Intelligence is not waterboarding people. Intelligence is gathering reliable information. Torture won't do that. We can build all the spy satellites we want. We can conduct all the electronic eavesdropping operations we can, and we do, believe me, at a cost of tens of billions of dollars. But at the end of the day, Sun Tzu, the Chinese general who wrote The Art of War 26 centuries ago, defined what intelligence is for us today. He said it in 3 words: know your enemy. The only way to know what another person thinks is to talk to them. General Petraeus has said this. As to his strategy and tactics in Iraq, it's a good idea. Talk to them. We can't do that because we can't speak Arabic. The next president, I believe, could create a legacy for future generations and improve American intelligence enormously by creating a national intelligence university. We don't have to call it that. That would be every bit as good as West Point, or the Naval Academy, or the Air Force Academy. You can place it there if you want, but the point of this effort would be to teach Americans, young Americans, the language and the history and the culture of the people that we aim to know, the enemies that we aim to know. These people could grow up to be diplomats, or military officers, or spies. And God knows we need them. Our army is tired, our diplomacy exhausted, the intelligence community is running on fumes. They have to learn to speak the language. The president can ask people to do this. It's a long-range goal, it's a strategy, it's seeing over the horizon. But without that knowledge, that comes from good intelligence, the CIA cannot be what it was intended to be, which is a source of truth to serve those in power. If we want American fortunes to prosper, we're going to need the best intelligence. This struggle we're in now is probably going to last as long as the Cold War. It is not going to be one with nuclear bombs, or smart bombs, or cruise missiles, or billion-dollar jets. It's going to be one with intelligence and information and ideas. Teaching a new generation how to know the enemy is where the president should begin. Thanks very much. This is my favorite part of the evening, when I can actually look at you and take questions. And please state your question in the form of a question. Sir.
Yes, George Washington wanted a national university, and I wonder if this would be your idea for a national intelligence university would be a fulfillment in part of his dream Is there discussion of this in Washington today?